So talk to me about, yeah, what is it? Because
Yeah.
your thing is born to be a queen. So
Yes.
what does it mean?
Yes.
When we throw this word like, okay, sisters, let's rise as queens. I think that we like the sound of that, but a lot of women don't truly understand what that means.
And that's the reason why I named it like Born to be a Queen, because I feel like God already placed that in our hearts, right? And along the lines that we forget. We just totally forget. So it's just going back to remembering. And for everybody is different. And I think, we have very few examples of queens, but just like if you're thinking of like, I often think back of like a Queen Esther,
Yeah.
how loving and how gracious she was. And almost like the way that I saw her is like she was never demanding of power and of love, but almost like she was very graceful. And I think that's one of the words that I really love to hold on to when I think of a queen, especially for myself, is this word of grace, and not to demand, but just for me, especially, is like to feel so abundant and so full in God's love and who He is, that you're not sacrificing anything or anyone around you. But He shows you and He helps you. And not to say that, I think like a lot of the times when we think like, oh, okay, you're a queen, so you have this beautiful castle and you have everything made for you and you have your servants. And you like, no, that's not it. Like we forget the roles, right? It's like there is so much responsibility. There is so much servanthood that comes behind being a queen. It's like we're there to serve, we're there to love, we're there to give, we're there to put order and control, not from a place of demand, but from a place of like, okay, organization and all these things happen. But the root of it just comes back to what I tell the women is like, you must take the time to really remember who God created you to be. And it's funny because like I end every video and I tell them that, like every video, it doesn't get old. To me, it doesn't get old because that's my constant reminder, like what I say in the videos, what I teach, it comes back always to me. And I always end it like that. Like you were born to be a queen. It just takes us that remembrance. And we don't do that enough. Like we don't remember who God created us to be. And I've heard you say cultivating, like you're cultivating a lot of it. For me, it's the same thing. Like we get to cultivate who the queen is in our kingdom. And I actually call it the 3 C's, which is consciously cultivating connection to the queen.
Yes, it's so true.
And if it's not a conscious thing of like, well, who is this queen? And a lot of the times, like I ask them, I'm like, when you're going through whatever scenario, how will your queen show up?
Yeah.
And is it a queen that everybody's going to love? Probably not. But it's going to be a queen that is just, a queen that it's loving, just like Jesus was. Like, when he went into so many different places, when he traveled through all these roads, it's like he wasn't demanding. He walked into every town and he taught and he gave and he, was like lesson after lesson. And that's who we are. So like if you can be that queen, if you can be that in your kingdom, in your castle, then you really like it's hard for us to go somewhere else and be that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where we got to start. Like we got to start in our own castle, which is our body. We got to take care of this. Like who do you show up? How do you show up as a queen for yourself? Then how do you show up as a queen to your king, whether you're married or not? Like you probably will attract the right king. And how do you show up with your kids? Like for me, that's like they see how I operate, and it's not just on video, and it's just not what I'm teaching the women. It's how I operate every single day, because that's like our daily thing is to consciously cultivate connection to the queen, that God would look down and say, like, I'm happy you're listening. I'm happy you're actually getting the downloads that I'm telling you, because it's not how we see like a Queen Elizabeth or whatever queen that we have right now. But it's like, who does, like you say, like, who does he want us to be?
Yeah. Yeah. So
That's
cool.
that's one of the biggest things for me. It's like a constant reminder,
Yeah.
constant reminder.